Hello people, I'm the Anime Hero, and welcome to the Fandom Group. We're here tonight, we're gonna talk about Gintama. And here tonight we have Zoro Fanboy 124.
Ironically enough, my penis does turn to hammer.
And Zayn C3.
Dondake!
Dondake!
Dondake?
Dondake.
Yeah, but alright guys, like now, the series of Gintama, man, like we all love it, but why can't other people can't get into it? What do you think, Zoro?
That's actually a really good question. The reason why I don't think people can get into it, first, like many other shows or any manga or animes, has a slow start. The first and second episodes are both filler, so that people just watch 2 or 3 episodes, like, I don't want to watch it, when that really doesn't represent the greatness of Gintama. Also, on top of that, I think it takes about 30, maybe even longer, for it to really start to kick in. But, I mean, not that it isn't bad in the beginning, the first 20, 30 episodes. You're getting introduced to the characters, you're starting to understand the comedy aspect of it. But I think people don't want to wait that long, which is kind of silly because, I mean, if you're willing to wait that long for a series like One Piece, willing to wait that long for a series like Hitman Reborn, you have to understand there's like over 270 episodes of Gintama. You know what I'm saying? So I would say just stick it out at the beginning, enjoy maybe 10 to 20 episodes, then watch the movie. The movie, if you like the movie, the first one, it'll be an indicator of whether or not you'll enjoy the series going forward. If you watch about 20 episodes, say movie, well, I didn't like it, then I can say, okay, maybe you're not just a fan of it. But why I don't think people may not like it is, I mean, first off, there are a lot of Japanese references that don't necessarily translate over to the American audience or, you know, European audience, whoever's watching. And on top of that, it's a comedy, mostly a comedy. There are action arcs and amazing action arcs, don't get me wrong, and drama and all the other things that it introduces, but mostly it is comedy. So if you don't enjoy that particular brand of comedy, you're not going to enjoy Gintama. So I won't say that it's an anime or manga that all people would enjoy, or most. It's just, it is a bit of a selective taste, but if you have that taste, it's going to be something that's in your top favorites, because it's that fucking good.
It'll grab you by the balls.
It will. It'll make your dick turn into a hammer. So yeah, if you're into that kind of crude humor, if you're a fan of like South Park, for example, Family Guy, those kinds of shows, then Gintama is like the Japanese version of that. And the references to fucking Shonen are amazing. So, I mean, as far as why people don't like it, I said pretty much the comedy. Some people don't like comedy. Some people don't like, it's not episodic. Like, people like to say it's episodic. It's not episodic. It's just mini arcs. Like 2 or 3 episode arcs. Sometimes 7, 8 episode arcs. Sometimes you do have one episode that just is basically its own episode. But it's not all episodic. So I just want to denounce that notion right there. But yeah, I think people just need to give it more of a chance and stop being so judgmental right off the bat when, you know, it takes a little bit of time to get into, but it's definitely worth the wait.
Like, Z, any opinions on that question?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think Gintama it's a unique kind of shonen. I guess if you take series, say like somewhere like a trademark shonen series like One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball, Hakusho, Toriko, you notice that their arcs are actually like very long, like 50 chapters or so, like 40 to 50 chapters in manga form, and generally like they have like this really big villain who's like, you know, the trademark villain of that arc, and oh shit, like, you know, so everything is like really like goal oriented, sort of like in those arcs, like, you know, like what's going on and you know how long this is going to be. But in Gintama you don't have really those kind of arcs. Sure, you have important arcs or story central arcs, but they're not like 50 chapters long. They're not even, I wouldn't even say some of them are past 20 chapters really. It's very I guess like the arcs in that series are just very they're very short, but they always have like some sort of like a central moral or some sort of like a central theme, you know, like I guess in the case of the recent arc with Kondo and the old man who raised him, you can see that you know, it's the theme is sort of like I guess the love that he had that, you know, Kondo's sort of a guardian had for him, and why he does, or how Soriachi portrays that thieving and stealing and stuff is honorable and it's okay. You know, things, there are certain themes that are associated with like those sort of arcs, like, and they're very small.
3 chapters, right? 3 or 4 chapters?
Yeah, 3 or 4 chapters.
And it was amazing, dude.
Yeah. So I think that's one reason why people can't get into it, just because it's not very like story oriented that way. Like, it's not very long, and it doesn't. I guess the length of a story can sometimes determine how invested some people are in it. Like with One Piece, I think the reason it has so many readers is because there's a goal at the end. Like there's a journey. I think with Gintama you don't necessarily get that. It's sort of like oh, this happens to Yorozei, or this happens to Yorozei, or this is what happens to Hijikata, or this is what happens to Sogo. So you always get like these sort of like different scenarios rather than like one sort of like central storyline to that to the series. So I think that's definitely one thing. And I guess one other thing is that might drive people away is probably the abundance of humor. I think Gintama is a series that really depends on its humor, and sometimes I think the humor is actually, there's more humor in the series than there is action, and I think because of that it makes Gintama a very different type of battle shonen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
especially in the beginning, I think there's more humor than there is now. Now it seems like every other arc we're getting is a serious arc, which is good, but
yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, I think those are the two reasons why people can't get into Gintama. And like Azora said, like the start of the series, you kind of got to stick with it to see like its greatness, So.
Exactly.
Great.
What would you say is like the first arc, which you say, okay, now this is where shit is real?
To me, it was like to me when it hit me, it was like around the Umiboso when Kakura's dad shows up.
Yeah.
Oh yes. What chapter is that?
It's episodes 40 to 43.
So I mean, some people don't want to wait that length. Like I said, don't get me wrong, it's good before that point. It's just not on that epic, amazing level.
So episode 28, man, like that one when they're fighting for their meat pod, that was like a whole Death Note parody.
Yeah. Like we were comparing this before the call started. Like One Piece, how long did it take to get to Arlong Park, or the Baratie? And that's like the first great arc in One Piece, or at least very good arc that get them that say, okay, now this series is good. The same thing is with Gintama. It's still enjoyable up until that point, but it takes a little bit of time to get to that point.
Yeah.
I'm checking right now, and yeah, like the Baratie arc doesn't start until episode 21. No, 20. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to wait for that, or wait for Hitman Reborn, or some of the other shows that really have a slow start, then you can wait for Gintama. It's worth the wait.
It is.
What about you, Kira? What do you
I guess like about a year or two ago when I noticed like Gintama started to explode a bit, where people would be posting AMVs of like the more serious arcs, and people will be talking about it like every now and then. But when I heard Gintama was popular, I was expecting it to be like around the I guess you could say around the Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece like popularity, but to my surprise, it wasn't.
I don't think I ever get that. No offense. I mean, I just don't see it getting that popular. I mean, that's why when it comes to like just as an example, for award shows, comedies don't win awards, at least the serious ones anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if there is some kind of a deep message within the comedy, they'll never be highly regarded as some of the dramas or other things. I mean, as good as Gintama is, and believe me, I've said this before on many occasions, some of the Gintama arcs are some of the best arcs in Shonen.
Yoshi. Yeah.
Yoshiwara Flames. Jiraiya the Spider arc, I love that arc as well.
Jiraiya.
Jiraiya the Spider, oh my god. The Shogun arc, I don't know what the name of it is, I just call it the Shogun arc. The arc in the Shogun arc. I love the Kintoki arc. That was really good in its own right. Yagu arc.
Yeah, no,
so funny.
Like some of the ones that I love are like not even serious at all. Like take the Scandal one for example.
Oh, the Scandal.
It's just like, to me that's like one of the best examples of how raunchy Gintama could be, because I'm thinking like no, I don't think no other series would do that. Like where would you get your shonen main character like get wasted and the following night, the following morning discover that he slept with all the women characters the previous night?
And what's funny about that, it really is, they kind of mention that in the series, like, oh god, I've jumped the shark for shonen characters. It's fucking hilarious, dude. It really is. I like that self-aware.
Did they ever say his actual age? Like, isn't he like late 20s, I want to say, though?
Probably late 20s, early 30s, at most.
Because I mean, the other good arc, I mean, like the whole breaking the fourth wall has easily goes to the popularity contest, like that one.
Oh,
I mean, all your
Oh.
characters are fighting to be like the number one most popular of the series.
You know what I like about that? You know what I like about that? There's this one scene where Shinpachi, like he was like hiding behind walls and shit. It was like playing like thriller music and stuff. He's like trying to figure out like, oh, who's taking out like all the different contestants and stuff. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
is that the arc with they bring out the Kenshiro reference?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
North Star?
Yeah, they do.
Nice.
That was the opening for it.
Funny, man.
Obviously, like Gintama makes a lot of references, and some of them are just little small jokes that maybe people won't get right off the bat. But then again, what I like about, depending on what fan subs you're watching, is that they will put like messages on the top of the screen telling you like exactly what it is or what they're trying to reference. Because I mean, I'm trying to think of like a good example. Because like take this one about the stance, you know, and the whole ghost story. Like it wasn't until like recently that you got that joke because of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, I didn't even know when I first watched Gintama. I didn't even know about JoJo, so they made this huge Stan arc, this ghost Stan arc. Like, what the fuck are Stans? I had no idea. But now rewatching it, it's fucking hilarious knowing that the JoJo reference and really good stuff.
There are some episodes though that are like dedicated to something entirely for a parody, like the Shinsengumi Death Game. That one was a Saw parody, like with Hichikata and Sogo.
Yeah. They do a lot of parodies. I mean, how many references to One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, and everything in between? You know what I'm saying? They have done in the past. It's hilarious.
Obviously, the references, like, you're not gonna get them all, because some of them, like, they go back to, not just anime, but they go to even, like, Japanese, dramas and talk shows.
Right.
Like, a bunch of, like, little incidences happen in Japan. One of my favorite ones is the Illegal 13, but obviously, I don't think that, not that many people are gonna get that joke.
Yeah. Like I said, there are going to be a few that go over your head. It's just going to be part of it. But that doesn't mean that, it's not funny, because, I mean, most of the comedy is universal, I would say.
The comedy doesn't rely solely on the references. Sometimes an occasional joke, they make themselves. Some of the random conversations they have in that series, like there's this one, the host club one, they were having a discussion about Vegeta.
Yeah.
The thing is, the way they talked about it wasn't like the way you expected. They were talking about like how was he as a husband.
Oh, yeah, they're having a debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That is true. Like, they do funny bits, like the bit with them on the fucking toilet is just fucking gold.
Oh.
It's just beautiful.
They
make not having toilet paper seem like the most dramatic thing on earth. It really is like a death battle of, oh god, you need to get this toilet paper. It's funny. They're very clever. I would say it's not just potty humor. People you mistake this. They are incredibly clever the way they do things. Like, not many people would think to do an entire arc in your series based on popularity poll of your last voting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they revolved an entire arc around it and made it incredibly entertaining. And I love how they were kind of like self-aware, like why their character got in the place that they got, and for the exact reasons.
Yeah.
And it was just wonderful the way they do that. They really write the characters well and make them really make the jokes really clever.
Yeah, like one of the scenarios that I like was the OE arc where they're all waiting in line just to buy a Nintendo Wii. But I just love the scenario that he had all the characters in that one spot. They're just waiting in line for different reasons, and then at the end of the game, I mean, the end of the day, they had to play like different like these bullshit games that no one would ever play, like a Vomit Tetris.
Vomit said, "Oh, was it Nobunaga?"
It was Nobunaga games.
I think people understand that reference because there are like 20 Nobunaga fucking animes. So yeah, like you said, they're just clever in the way that they write. It's really something special, and not only the comedy moments, but people don't understand that there's incredibly dramatic moments. Not just the action. That's another thing. But you'll cry. You will cry during Gintama. More than any other shows.
Dude, man, it's kind of weird for me, but like the times I felt like really sad in Gintama were like in the wrong arcs altogether.
What do you mean?
Yeah, okay. Like like Okita's sister, like that arc, for example.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel, I felt sad, but I didn't feel like too depressed compared to the last episode of the Monkey Hunter arc. Because I just felt really bad for them that they had to live permanently like as screwdrivers or something. I don't know why. I just felt really, really sad with that scene because like Gintoki like quit his business and they're all like just traveling the world, see what they could do for themselves. And I mean, I don't know why. I just felt really, really bad for them, especially with Gintoki That's like, man, he's got a screwdriver for a dick, man. He can't be banging anyone.
Yeah, that's funny. That is pretty funny.
And it was supposed to be hilarious, but I just took it like, this is sad.
When it comes to Gintama, like I said, I mean, the dramatic moments are pretty. I think I've cried more during Gintama than I have for like a show, like maybe even more than Naruto. I'd say it really hits you on an emotional level. It doesn't have as many dramatic moments, but the impact of those emotional moments are heavier. I think.
Yeah.
That for me anyway. Characters are more relatable because they're all fucked up in their own special way. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone's like pretty...
how many main characters of Shonen are just completely unmotivated to become better in anything, to improve themselves in any sense? None are. And Gintoki is self-aware of that, and he's like, I don't give a fuck.
Like we don't have like any goals or special moves or anything. Then it's like, well, I guess we could try to become like the pirate, the pirate king,
the one part,
the pirate.
The king of the manga, or
the pirates. Yeah. What was it? The king of the swordsman? I don't remember what the goal was.
Yeah, king of the swordsman. I think.
Because he had because he had like the. Yeah, did he have like the ship and stuff?
Yeah, he had the
ship and his arm was stretchy.
I know he had Elizabeth on the front of the boat. With
the mask.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of like one of the examples on the humor like that I really like was this is one episode that had to do with Santa Claus, but the way they interpret Santa Claus and Rudolph, they're just like, what?
Rudolph is a badass. Yeah? Too funny, man. I will admit that some of the arcs do miss for me. I mean, they will for you too.
To me, the arc missed for me, but there was like one good gag in it that saved it. Was the hard-boiled detective? Oh, you know what I mean. You know, the floor. They had to be running against it, otherwise they would be hit by the spikes. And then they find
yeah.
it's just a ridiculous thing after the other. And Harley Davidson to finish it off.
Mine was the Star Wars one. Not that I know Star Wars.
Oh yeah. Well. You mean the beam saber one or the?
No, not that one. The one with
Elizabeth.
Yeah, the one with Elizabeth.
Yeah, I know.
I've never been a huge fan of mecha anime, and that was just a big like.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that arc. I felt like it was too long. Honestly, yeah, I don't know.
I feel like if you were like a huge fan of Gundam, that you'd love that arc.
Yeah, it was a Gundam Star Wars crossover essentially.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And Uno, if you're a fan of Uno, you'll love that arc.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That one part didn't get
like the only thing that I liked about it, like like in the second episode when Fujiko Mine was introduced, well, you know who I mean, but essentially the Fujiko clone showed up and she was having like this dirty joke with Gintoki where she was at the end of the oh my God, what the hell is that damn swing set, and then she's just like it's like tapping her.
It was what the fuck's that called? Is it swing set? No, it's not swing set. It's the oh my God. We have two people running opposite sides.
The seesaw?
Yeah, it's seesaw. There we go. Seesaw.
That's
yeah, just banged by the seesaw.
I know. It's just like giving her a tap. It's just.
Yeah, that was fun.